Yeah, it's a great topic because as you said, every chronic health issue, there's a strong correlation with insulin resistance. It's what underlies metabolic syndrome, which is what's underlying cardiovascular disease and diabetes and a number of other, basically every chronic health condition. And what we're told is going on in insulin resistance is not the full picture. And what we're told is that our cells need to respond properly to insulin in order for them to take up glucose. And over time, for one reason or another, and there's different reasons thrown out there, the cells stop responding to insulin signals and therefore stop taking up glucose. And that causes a lot of glucose in the blood, causes us to provide more and more insulin to try to force the glucose to come in. And this leads to high blood sugar, high insulin, and kind of downstream problems. But what we're missing here is what's really going on underneath inside the cell that's preventing it from further taking up glucose. And it's not a response to insulin problem, rather it's a overflow problem essentially, where inside our cells, our mitochondria are the engines that are producing energy, and they're using also, well, not all sorts of different fuels, but a couple of different fuels in order to do so. One of the main ones is glucose. And when that engine is being blocked, it doesn't effectively use that glucose and convert it to energy. And the different metabolites of, kind of in that process of producing energy build up as well as the glucose. And so there's not space, like there's no more room in the cell for more glucose to come in. There's basically like enzymatic blockages that go on because we already have enough glucose in the cell and we're just not using it effectively. And as a result, the cell basically says, I can't take up any more fuel and doesn't take up more glucose even when it interacts with insulin. And that's what we see. That's what insulin resistance is. That's what's going on in kind of the deeper sense when we have insulin resistance is that the engines of our cells are not working properly. We're not effectively producing energy, which leaves us with a lack of ATP, which leads to low energy, poor sleep, low digestive function, cognitive function, reproductive function, all of the different systems. And then it also leaves us with an overflow of this fuel. And if we can't convert it to energy, we have to store it. And oftentimes we end up storing it as body fat when, especially our glycogen stores are full. Or if we have this extra glucose, we'll be storing the fat that comes in as body fat. And then we're in a situation where we're gaining body fat and we have a lack of ATP, a lack of energy. So we're feeling pretty bad. We're feeling hungry because our hunger signals are still on saying we need more energy.
Mhm.
That we're like everything is collapsing, right? And we're gaining weight despite being hungry, despite eating more, and not actually having the energy we need. And so that is the kind of constellation of what is actually underpinning insulin resistance.